Kettleman City has long been a hotspot for environmental concern. Waste Management runs one of the largest toxic waste facilities just miles away from these homes and has plans to expand.
Kettleman City is located where Interstate 5 and State Route 41 intersect, just past a gas station and fast food rest stop. Like the Kettleman City community of 1,439 people, Giant Industries also call this home. Compressor stations and petroleum pipelines transport power and gasoline to other parts of the state. Toxic waste is disposed of here at Waste Management's largest West Coast facility.
Last year, 400,000 tons of hazardous waste, including lead and cancer-linked PCBs found in plastics, was dumped here. Less than 4 miles away is Kettleman City, a small, poor community with no grocery store, no high school, and few sidewalks. It is also plagued with poor air quality, unsafe drinking water, and exposure to pesticides. It also has a startling number of birth defects that some residents believe could be linked to this toxic dump.
The legacy of Kettleman City is very important for CRPE, the community that we've been involved with for over 20 years. First fighting the incinerator and now fighting the expansion and becoming very involved in trying to figure out what's causing the birth defects. So it's one of the longest standing cases that CRPE has been involved with.
One Green Action organizer, Anna Martinez, was calling me and saying, Bradley, we found all these birth defects. And then they found more, and then they found more. And a lot of them were facial defects, but we found out about infant deaths. And we found that it really seemed to have started later in 2007. And we brought that to the government's attention, and nobody wanted to do anything.
We know that the one thing that these mothers shared was their environment. That's the one thing that they had in common. So we firmly believe that the cause of all the birth defects is environmental.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
En enero 24 del 2009. 10 meses y medio después.
In December, local officials voted in favor of expanding this waste site, sparking protests across this small town. Waste Management has paid $3 million in taxes to the county.
The Kings County Board of Supervisors is requesting a formal investigation by the state into a cluster of birth defects in Kettleman City.
The State Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Public Health announced a 10-month study revealed no conclusive cause for the defects.
In many cases, we do not find causes of birth defects in individual cases. There are so many different factors involved, but we did see more than we would expect in this community in this time frame.
When you have something going on where 5 out of 20 babies in a 14-month period born in this little town are born with severe birth defects and 3 of them die, we don't buy it for a second that it's random.
El Pueblo and Green Action have announced today that they are appealing the Kings County Superior decision approving the chem waste facility.
Case heard now in the appellate court in Fresno, where we hope to find some impartial judges who will rule on the merits of this. We're also alleging that the county has systematically discriminated against the residents of Kettleman City.
And so not only are we suing under environmental laws, we are also alleging that Kings County has discriminated against Kettleman City.
The problem is also racism. It's also a system in our society based on class. And the reality is, when people say, well, if the Kettleman City toxic waste dump were to close, my goodness, what are we going to do? Well, let's see what we can do. is start addressing the reality that all 3 toxic waste dumps in the state, coincidentally or not, and we think it's quite intentional, 100% are in low-income Latino, Spanish-speaking, primarily farm worker communities. That's intentional in our belief. It's racism. It's enforced by racist permit processes, such as when they had the hearings in October 2009. If you're a Spanish-speaking resident from Kettleman, you got 2.5 minutes to testify. If you're a white guy, you got 5 minutes.
Take the children, run. Take the children, run. Take the children.